So Dave Meltzer says that Triple H is in trouble. He's reporting that he's internally being blamed for NXT not winning the Wednesday Night Wars, which WWE thought they would win easily. Further, that there are players backstage who've been worried they would lose power if Vince McMahon's son-in-law took over the company, and now they're using AEW's success to badmouth NXT and, by extension, Triple H. NXT is being cast as a product full of independent workers who can't draw, which is unable to attract a younger audience. Now, that is such shit. That is such a shit. But you know what? I kind of agree with that, and I'm going to tell you why. NXT, I think, put themselves into a hole, dug themselves a nice little hole, nice little dirt box in the backyard when they started signing all this talent that were already made names on the indies. So, for example, like a Shinsuke Nakamura or Samoa Joe. Let's see, who else did Finn Balor, Kenta. Who else they got? That's just an Asuka. That's just to name a few. A lot of people that they've signed have been either people from the indies or, bigger names who have been from other companies like Impact or, whatever. At the time, there was no AEW, so they couldn't have come from AEW. But I feel like they haven't had a homegrown star other than like a Roman Reigns, other than him. But look, think about that. Roman Reigns is really homegrown. He was not, an indie guy. His family is, within WWE, and Roman Reigns, he started in FCW, I think? Yeah, he's like he's homegrown. So when you think about it, WWE, they don't really have very many homegrown wrestlers. And look, I know that they got some, but they don't have a lot. Sasha, homegrown. Bianca Belair, homegrown, right? Pay attention to who's being pushed, who's the stars of this shit right now. Pay attention. Bianca, Sasha, Roman, Cena, guys even still like Orton who are getting pushed and put in a really, really important situation. I don't really know too much about Drew's indie life or anything like that, but Drew was super young when he was with WWE. This goes back to what I mentioned before. And I just started talking. I didn't really give a proper intro. Thank you. Welcome to Within the Ropes episode 2. Okay? I didn't even say that. What happened? I guess I just wanted to approach this episode a little different. This is Within the Ropes podcast episode 2 of the flagship show. And yeah, I'm talking Triple H, NXT, just giving my thoughts on the reports that have gone out there over the last week or so. Dave Meltzer giving us all the secrets, telling us everything he knows, or at least telling us everything he thinks. Dave Meltzer's pretty biased. He doesn't really... I'm not going to sit here and talk about Dave Meltzer. We all know how Dave Meltzer is. But I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. Make sure you guys follow the show at Within the Ropes on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys follow me at Brian Tronic on Twitter and Instagram as well. But let's get back into what I was saying. I think that the problem with NXT is that it turned into like this, third brand, and it was full of a lot of people who were a little on the older side. And then they come to WWE, and think about it. NXT really became the place for these indie stars to come when they were done with their wrestling careers and they just wanted to come make a lot of money and become sports entertainers. The majority of them, right? Okay, I won't say the majority of them. I'm in my head, I'm really just thinking of AJ Styles right now. But think about that, like AJ Styles, before AEW, Samoa Joe. I don't know why these indie guys wait so long to come to WWE. I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Never mind. It's not their fault. It is WWE. Maybe it's WWE. Okay, but let me back up because now I'm scrambling and I'm forgetting what I'm saying in my head. let me back up for a minute. NXT's problem to me is the fact that they don't have any up and coming homegrown talent. They got a lot of people who've come from the indies. And I know there's no way you can stop that, right? I understand and I get that. But now Vince McMahon is probably looking at a lot of the talent that they have or had. And not everybody that got released were, big names on the indies or anything like that. But I don't know. Maybe they're having a hard time. I don't know, man. Let me back up again because now I'm still confusing myself about the point that I'm trying to get across. Let me take a deep breath. I think NXT should just go back to being a developmental territory. I think that instead of getting big indie names, they should groom the young talent that they have, homegrown, young, fresh talent. I don't really care about, all that other noise about them being, too small or whatever. That's irrelevant to me. That's stupid because we've seen the smallest of the small become superstars and the biggest of the big, real big, become superstars. So, and fan favorites. And that, to me, that's what it's all about, right? So I don't really care about that. But I just think that if NXT could go back to that state where it's just like, all right, we're not a third brand, but we're kind of like a stepping stone. Like if you want to come to WWE, this is where you go. And then once you're ready, then you can come up to the main roster and, you should be ready for everything. You should be ready for touring. You should be ready for TV. You should be ready for all that. You shouldn't come to WWE and just not be ready. I'm pretty much going all over the place here at this point. But the point is that no, I don't think Triple H is to blame. It's really up to Vince McMahon. We all know, and this is what I tried to tell everybody who felt like NXT was like its separate thing and the fans made NXT its separate thing. But what people don't understand is that in that NXT logo is a excuse me, I almost freaking threw up. Like I said, and that NXT logo is a little itty bitty WWE logo, okay? So NXT was never its own entity. And as much as people want to put it out there and make it seem like NXT was some indie wrestling show or some separation of NXT, sorry to break the news to you, but it was not, okay? It was Vince all along. It was me all along, WWE Universe. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I just think that Vince is in the way, basically, of Triple H. I don't think it's Triple H's fault. And for people who think it's Triple H's fault, well, then you're stupid. It's as simple as that. Sorry. I know that's kind of mean. No, I'm not sorry. You're stupid if you think it's Triple H's fault. Who's the boss? Who's in charge? Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That's who's in charge. It's his fault. It's his company. It's his brand. It's his show. Triple H just gets paid to book it and fucking pay other people to do things. And he just gets paid to be there. That's what it all comes down to. I'm not going to spend too much time on Triple H. I confused myself 3 minutes into this, okay? And to attract a younger audience, I don't think you necessarily have to have young stars or anything like that. Just make better shit, book better shit. Christian just won the Impact World title on Rampage, and he ain't young. I'm not going to get into a rant about that, though. Triple H in trouble. NXT canceled. Oh, and the news came out today that NXT, matter of fact, let me go to the news. I'm just going to read it because I don't want to. I don't want to just try and act like and remember it. So the report says that Fightful learned that NXT will be taping the Monday and Tuesday following NXT TakeOver this month as opposed to going live, and that some fans and regulars have already been sent emails to request their Holy shit, why is that hard for me? Request their spots on the tapings. And the most recent set of NXT shows had some live, some taped, and that they're working to find out any more changes that will be in store and things like that. So, yeah. And they haven't been told if it's a permanent move or not. But guess what? I think it should be a permanent move. Make it permanent. Don't waste your time on trying to do live television. Get back in the groove of making sure everything is NXT ready and make sure everything is set and good. And don't, I don't know, man. I just feel like everything should start over. NXT should start over. The main roster start over. Get AEW and competition and all that. Get it out of your head and just worry about yourselves. You know, we focus on and we tell a lot of AEW fans and AEW in general to focus on your stealth. Focus on yourself. Don't worry about WWE. Don't stop name dropping, doing all that. I think WWE should do the same thing. And for the most part, they are. But I don't think that they're like not worrying about AEW so much to the point where they're just doing a lot of bad shit still. They got to focus on what they can do good. And I know Nick Khan's in the building, and he's the money man, and he's the decision man, and he's the, mainstream man. But we got to focus on the product, the writers, the wrestling, the stories. That's what's important. That's what matters. That's really what wrestling fans care about. Not who's going to be performing at WrestleMania, not who's going to be performing at SummerSlam, not what celebrity guest special referee we're going to have or anything like that. Fans don't care about that. The casuals do. And to be quite honest, I'm still trying to figure out what a casual is. So if anyone could just DM me or tweet me or let me know the exact definition of a wrestling casual, I would love to know. I'm trying to figure out, am I a casual? All right, so next up on the list, I got Keith Lee. Keith Lee made a YouTube video earlier this week or last week, I guess. And he explained his absence over the last, 5+ months. And he said it was due to COVID, and he suffered from heart inflammation. And basically, the man almost died. Now, a lot of people speculated and had, their thoughts and their what ifs and, oh, this is what happened and this is what didn't happen. And, oh, Vince McMahon says he's too fat and he needs to lose some weight. And they're keeping him off TV because they don't like the way that he looks and all this stuff. Look, man, we got to stop speculating and making up these lies and rumors about these wrestlers, because, look, they got real lives and we don't know what's going on with it. We think we know everything, but we don't. That's what a lot of you wrestling fans got to realize and understand. A lot of you Twitter finger wrestling fans need to understand something, that, yeah, you can say what you think, you can say what you know, but it ain't the facts. It ain't always the facts. And he explained that Mia Yim was also, Mia Yim, who was his fiance, she did not have COVID. There was a lot of talk saying that she gave it to him, but that was also a lie. She did not give it to him. In fact, she got it from him because she was there helping care for him. She risked a big moment in her career, missed out on an opportunity being in the Royal Rumble to help care for him. And that is commendable. And I think she deserves a lot of credit. And I think she deserves a fucking sorry from a lot of the internet wrestling community. Okay. Everybody who are just on the internet all day talking about people's lives and what they should and shouldn't do and how they should and shouldn't make their money and, who they should or shouldn't be employed by. We got to stop that shit, man. We don't know everything. We don't. It makes me so mad. Like, this man literally almost died. And people were on Twitter talking about he's off TV because Vince McMahon thinks he's too fat. He's off TV because Bruce Pritchard doesn't like the way he looks. He's off TV because Mia Yim gave him COVID. He's off TV because this and that. Because when he came back, I was like, yo, he seems a little bit slower than normal. He doesn't seem to have his wind all the way because Keith Lee was extremely athletic. He was quick. The agility was amazing. And since he's been back, I've noticed, him not being as quick as he normally is. And now I know why. Now I know why. Shouts out to Keith Lee and Mia Yim. I'm glad he's doing okay. I'm glad that she's okay. And I hope that they both somehow get worked back in. Seems like Keith Lee is kind of working his way. I mean, he's been on Raw for the past few weeks or whatever. But Mia Yim, I hope she gets or finds her way back into the mix. And hopefully they got something planned for her. And all this stuff. It just makes me mad. And I just want to say, as wrestling fans, can we please stop speculating and please stop trying to act like we know these wrestlers' lives. We do not know everything that goes on in their life. We do not know shit, really. We're reading, from different sources all day, every day. And a lot of the sources are saying the same thing over and over. That's one thing that I don't like about the internet and Twitter and wrestling Twitter and all that, is that when you go online, you read, from these sources, and it's so many of them, but they're all saying the same thing. Some of them say it differently, but all in all, it's all the same shit. So, yeah, I don't know, man. When it's about someone's personal life, let's try and keep it, out of our mouths and wait until they're ready to share and then go from there. But that's all I wanted to say in regards to Keith Lee. I want to talk about the announcement of the King and the Queen of the Ring, the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Let me bring this up here because it was announced, according to Andrew Zarian of the Matt Men podcast, that they were going to be bringing back the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. It's set to take place in October, and the finals for both the King and Queen of the Ring is taking place in Saudi Arabia. I think that there's not a better place for the King of the Ring finals, and I know that people aren't going to agree with that, but let me tell you why, just real quick. Why not? That's it. I don't have to explain myself. Why not? I think that the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring will and should shape up a little bit of the lack thereof of some talent. There was no Toni Storm. As far as let's talk about the Queen of the Ring. As far as on the women's side, there was no Toni Storm. There was no Tegan Nox. There was no Shotzi. And I know that there's no Shotzi and Nox because there's no Natalya, and it seems as though they were gearing up for a championship match, but we're not getting that right now because Natalya is still injured. And I guess creatively, WWE doesn't know how to, if they have plans for somebody, they don't know how to call an audible and switch things up in the meantime. So what do? They keep you off TV. Toni Storm, she had one match on SmackDown in her debut, and that was it. Haven't seen her since. It's a little scary. It's concerning because I like Toni Storm and I think she should be on SmackDown every week. But I don't know. Who knows? It's crazy, but maybe we'll see. Some of these girls in the Queen of the Ring tournament. I hope we do. I hope we see fresh faces, new faces, more unpredictable outcomes. I know a lot of people are speculating and thinking that it's going to be Charlotte, because she is the Queen City. And just like I know, that Charlotte should win. She should win the Queen of the Ring tournament, but I don't think she's going to win the Queen of the Ring tournament. In fact, I have a gut feeling that whenever she's done, if she doesn't win the championship at SummerSlam, which I think she's going to win that as well, I got a gut feeling that she's going to be probably taking some more time off here pretty soon. That's just how I feel. I don't know. I just got a feeling. But, we'll see. I don't think the women's division can afford for her to take time off right now with no Becky and no Bailey and things of that nature. But hey, we got Sasha, we got Belair. I already gave my thoughts on them and how I believe that they're holding up the women's division. They're the future of this women's division. Outside of Charlotte Flair, they are two, if not the only two, that you can put in the ring with anybody, male or female, and they'll come out on top. They'll wrestle circles around anybody. But yeah, man, I don't know. If you ask me to write out my bracket for Queen of the Ring, I honestly can't tell you who I would have in it. As far as King of the Ring goes, you got a lot of opportunity, a lot of new faces you can put in that as well. I go back to the days where the unexpected happened in the King of the Ring, like Billy Gunn winning the King of the Ring. Like that was weird. Like that, it was weird. And I think he is probably like the only King of the Ring winner that didn't really go on to do anything, which maybe that's why they don't do spontaneous, unexpected participants and outcomes of certain things, because then you end up with Billy Gunn being, partially pushed, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, this person is not getting over. Speaking of getting over, well, before I move on, King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, October. I know that there's a draft coming too, so I'm just excited about that, man. A lot of people think that with AEW and Rampage and Daniel Bryan and Asher Stadium and CM Punk and all of that, this is the end of WWE. But no, this is not the end. In fact, this is really just the beginning of them getting back on their feet in terms of, having fans back and having that wrestlers being able to have that connection and doing all. They're just getting started. And if they stay tunnel vision and not worry about everything going on the outside, WWE is going to be fine. You just fucking watch. But let me talk about something real quick. Let's talk about Nikki A.S.H. I seen a video on Twitter, and it was her getting booed at a live event. Why do people not like Nikki A.S.H.? Why? Nikki A.S.H. is entertaining to me. She's more entertaining than Orange Cassidy. And that's no knock to Orange Cassidy. I don't want to sit here and talk shit about another wrestler at the expense of, I don't want to do that. But she's entertaining. And I think people hated it because they thought it was Vince's idea and they thought it was Vince trying to change her. And then once the word got out that it was her idea, and it wasn't Vince's idea, that she actually came up with this and she presented it to Vince, and she was successful and it actually came to life. People at that point, it was too late, and people were like, oh, I don't like it. It's trash. And they didn't want to backpedal and go back on what they were saying about the gimmick. I don't know. That's just my guess. I like it. I think it's good for the kids. It's amazing. It's awesome. Kids have something to look forward to and to look up to. And that's what lacks in wrestling. Yeah, we got a lot of grown-ass men fucking loving Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, but find me 10 kids. Find me 10 kids that love Orange Cassidy. Find me 10 kids. Maybe you might be able to find 10 kids that like Darby Allin, but find me 10 kids that love Britt Baker. That's, again, no knock to Britt Baker's fantastic, but she's a little mid. There's nothing really about her outside of her in-ring ability. I know she's trying. I hate doing this, guys. I'm not trying to tear her down at all. But when you put her up against someone like Charlotte, and yeah, she's not liked very much by a lot of people, but I'm speaking in terms of little girls and who they could look up to and who their favorites could be. All right. Charlotte Flair, just the queen, that moniker, that swagger, that just the aura that Charlotte has. Becky Lynch, the man. just that speaks for itself. Sasha Banks, the boss. Bianca Belair, the EST. And I get it. Britt Baker's the DMD, but that's not fucking cool to kids. No one gives a shit. No kid gives a shit about that. In my opinion. I'm being 100,000% honest right now. No kid is going to really resonate with that versus the EST, the boss, the queen, the man. Bailey, when she had the inflatable Bailey buddies. No, come on, man. There is no bigger stage. Let me not go there. Let me not go there. Sorry. All right, let's talk about Kenny Omega. Kenny had a match with Andrade El Idolo for the AAA Mega Championship this weekend at Triplemania 29. And this came after Kenny Omega defended the Impact World Championship and lost to Christian on the premiere episode of AEW Rampage. And so he was kind of like already on a losing streak. And with that loss, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not alone when I say this. We kind of all expected Kenny Omega to lose the AAA championship and only have one title heading into All Out. It just made more sense considering that he lost the Impact Championship to Christian. But that was not the case. Andrade did not defeat Kenny Omega. There was a lot of shenanigans. Ric Flair was there to accompany Andrade. Conan was in Kenny's corner. And so it was a lot of stuff going on. But at the end of the day, Kenny Omega and still AAA Mega Champion. But that left a lot of people scratching their heads, including me, because it's just like, if you were going to have Kenny Omega keep that championship, why would you have him lose the Impact Championship in the first place? And there was reports out earlier today in regards to that whole ordeal, that whole situation with Kenny Omega and him losing the championship. According to Dave Meltzer, he says that, let me pull it up real quick. According to Dave Meltzer, Andrade was originally supposed to win the AAA Mega Championship from Kenny Omega at Triplemania, but AEW asked AAA to hold off. I guess apparently AEW is in charge of the way Kenny's booked, and so they didn't want him losing 2 times in a row, and so they said, let's hold off on that. But if that's the case, why did you have Kenny lose in the first place? I thought it would have been a great story if Kenny lost to Christian and then he lost again to Andrade back to back, right? It would have put Kenny in a mind state that he hasn't been in a while because he's been so used to winning. He could have gone crazy. He could have gone insane. He could have went on a rampage, no pun intended. And, he could have been on a journey to get his championships back or make sure that he, he kept a hold of the most prestigious one at least. I mean, they've been putting emphasis on it over the last week to make sure that, he has the Impact World title, the AAA Mega title, the TNA. Yeah, he's got those, but the most prestigious one, the most important one is the AEW World Championship. So if that's the case, why are we tripping off of him losing the other ones if the AEW Championship is the most important one? If you ask me, this kind of makes the whole relationship thing with other promotions make little to no sense. It seems extremely one-sided, and if it's not, it seems like it's getting there, right? I mean, we hardly see any outside of the Good Brothers. We don't really see any Impact Wrestling guys or gals on Dynamite. We don't see hardly any New Japan or any triple. I mean, you know what I mean? Andrade is signed to AEW too, so I get that. But that's another reason why I feel like it makes a shit ton of sense. You still have someone from AEW representing, and having that championship. And I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like it was a missed opportunity. I'm scratching my head. I'm wondering what they're going to do next and how does, I get it. You don't want him to lose 2 times in a row, but he didn't have to. He could have just beat Christian. He's facing him again in, in a little less than a month anyways. Right? He's facing him again in a few weeks anyways. So it really doesn't matter. That's like Christian losing the championship to Brian Myers at Impact's next pay-per-view. And then now Brian Myers has to go up against, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. Seems like a one-sided partnership, one-sided relationship. And, to be quite frank, if I was AAA, and I get it, neither one of those guys are under contract with AAA. They're AEW property. But if that's the case, I'd have been like, well, fuck, give me my belt back. You know what I mean? Give me my shit back. Neither one of you guys have to win or lose. We'll just vacate the title and we'll figure it out. But I understand that's probably not how things work. So I don't want nobody attacking me saying, yo, Tron, that's not how it works. I get it. I know that's not probably how it works. But I don't know. Do something. Do something. Speaking of Kenny Omega, man, he cut this promo after the match. I don't know where it was or how he, backstage or whatever. But he cut a pretty funny, crazy promo. He mentioned Charlotte and he said that Ric Flair was in fucking trouble. And it just made me think like, yo, he doesn't need Don Callis. Don Callis makes him look so much more lame and so much like just a cheap version of himself. He does not feel like the best bout machine, does not feel like the cleaner, does not feel like Kenny Omega to me when he's got Don Callis talking for him and doing who does he think he is? Paul Heyman? I don't know. Who knows? No, definitely not Paul Heyman. He's definitely not Paul Heyman. And I don't think he thinks he's Paul Heyman. I'm just saying, I just think that, I don't know, man. I need to get a petition started or an online e-signature thing that says that Don Callis needs to let Kenny Omega rock on his own. And maybe people will really fuck with Kenny and, because a lot of people who fuck with Kenny are the people who have been fucking with Kenny from the beginning and the New Japan and all that. I don't think Kenny has really gained any new fans. I think I saw one person on Twitter say, y'all watched Kenny Omega's match and, it was dope, yada, 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 all this. But in all seriousness, I don't think Kenny has any new fans. But I could be wrong. I don't really have much to talk about on this episode, y'all. I thought I did. I held it off, another day. I did. I held it off. I was like, there's more news, but I feel like it's so deep in the week. I've been busy with trying to get back in the swing of my reviews. My kids are back in school, so I took a hell of a lot of time this weekend getting them ready and prepared for that. So, yeah, man, that's where I'm at. There's not much wrestling news, and if there is, you already know it. So I think I'm going to cut this one loose. I talked about what I needed to talk about, and so be it. Well, did I? Let me check. Let me check the schedule. See if I talked about everything. CM Punk, let's go down the week. CM Punk is scheduled to make his debut or speculated to make his debut on Friday for Rampage in the United Center. 1 fucking hour? Are you serious, bro? I was so mad when I realized that Rampage was only 1 hour. But yeah, set to make his appearance or his debut or whatever with AEW. So I'm sure that's going to be a big one. SmackDown was good. Raw was Raw. NXT is, I'm just waiting for TakeOver to be over so we can see what NXT is going to look like because I'm pretty sure Karrion Kross is out of there. I'm pretty sure Gargano is going to be wrapping up there soon. Hell, he might be taking some time off soon. Or who knows? He kind of has free will to kind of do anything at this point now because he's not going to have Candice because she's pregnant. Congratulations to them. They're going to have a baby wrestling. So that's exciting. What else? I don't know. I think that's it. Oh, New Japan. I'm not gonna review it, but New Japan Resurgence. That was a good fucking show this weekend. So for those of you who watched that, right on. If you didn't watch it, go check it out. Go to New Japan World and watch it. The English commentary should be up. And if it's not up yet, then it should be up soon. And I think that's it. I think that's where I'm gonna wrap. I don't have very much to talk about. I appreciate all of you guys for listening, though. There will be more. I was trying to get a guest. That's what I was doing. I was trying to think of a guest to have. I should have just brought Philip on here. Shout out to Philip. Shout out to Bulletcast. Shout out Brandon. Shout out Baby Huey with In the Click. Those are my guys. I appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? They, when I started doing this podcast by myself, I was like, damn, man, I'm by myself. I'm not gonna have any friends, any buddies. But those guys, man, they reached out and we've been potting and we've been having a shit ton of fun. So I appreciate all the love and support that those guys show. Everybody shows to me. Shout out Strictly for the Culture. Appreciate what you guys have done. Always supporting, always peeping the podcast, listening. So thank you so much, everybody. Shout out to everybody that listens. It's extremely appreciated. Those of you who are new, welcome to Within the Ropes, and I hope you stay, and I hope you subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. Subscribe, leave a review, say hi, follow me on Twitter at Within the Ropes. That's the show. Follow me at Brian Tronic because I'm the host from the Queen City. That's right. And that's it. I'm just going to end it. I'm just going to say a bunch of ums, and I'm probably going to think of shit that I probably could have talked about on this episode later. But guess what? We'll leave it for later in the week. WithinTheRopesPodcast.com. Visit that. Everything is on there. The YouTubes, the socials, the platforms that the podcast is on. Everything is on there. I got SummerSlam predictions coming up this week. It's been a while since I did any predictions. I did Hell in a Cell, and I think that's all I did. I didn't do the last pay-per-view. But SummerSlam predictions are coming because that is this Saturday coming up. That's exciting. And that's it. Just stay tuned, man. I got shit coming. YouTube. Shit's coming for the YouTube. And that's all I got to say. Charlotte is still better than Kenny Omega. In the ring, out the ring, doesn't matter. So he better be careful talking to her daddy like that. And he better watch his mouth when he talks about the Queen City. Okay, he may have beat Andrade, but hey, Charlotte wrestled circles around him, make him feel like, y'all know what I mean. Have a good one, wrestling fans.